Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Where the Rams Walk. It's 20 minutes of Derby County chat with John and Peyton this week. Coming up this week, Brown over Yates. What's your view on that? We're going to dissect that whole game. Who should have gone off earlier when substitutions, were they quick enough? We're going to look ahead to our visit to the Bet365 this weekend as we take on Stoke, and we'll get John and Peyton to vote for their October player of the month. Who's yours? Put it in the comments below. Finally, at the end of the video, stay around for that because we're going to ask these two which three teams do they dislike the most in this league and would like to see the back of with an instant relegation. We are being evil this week, they're being Halloween. Let's get straight into it then. How are you, John? How are you, Peyton? Welcome back to 20 minutes of Where Rams Walk again. How are you both?
Good.
Fine, thank you. Good evening.
Good stuff. Great to have you along with us as well. So we jump straight into our first conversation then. Brown or Yates for you, John?
Well, I'm going to look at it a different way. Why not both? Why not play Jerry Yates? If we play 4-2-3-1, why can't Jerry Yates play in the 10 role? He drops in deep and he links the play up. Play Brown up top. That's all right. That's my opinion. If you want me to answer either, it depends who we play against, because I know Jerry Yates does a lot of work off the ball. You know, he moves and shoves centre halves about. You know, so it's a tough one. At the moment, I'd still start Jerry Yates if he's, mentally fresh and prepared. I'd start him and then bring Brown on as an impact.
The reason we're asking this is because social media was awash after the game. Niall says we need CBT to start played well when he came on. Jerry Yates is awful. Casey Flanagan says I'd rather see Brown on the pitch than Yates. Brown is ours. Yates belongs to Swansea. Come on then, Peyton, settle this.
I think it's a stupid question. Dajaune Brown is a 19-year-old. He's played probably 5 games for us and scored 1 goal. And we've been crying for him to get an opportunity, and he's got it and proven himself. And he needs to keep getting those opportunities off the bench. Jerry Yates is a proven championship striker who's been getting goal contributions for us and will continue to do that. I think Jerry Yates starts and Brown is the impact player, unless Brown has a really good run of form and then you give him a go from the start. Because they're different players. Brown's a more physical, taller player who wins headers, strengths people off the ball, whereas Yates is a bit more tricky and he likes to get past players with the dribbling. So it's a different thing. I think Yates, not Brown yet.
Okay. Great to see him get his first goal though, Peter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a brilliant finish. I mean, I think everyone in the stadium, as soon as they saw him coming on, went, today's the day he's going to score a goal. And it seems like every time he plays for us, he's always getting those opportunities. I know in the game in the Cup a few weeks ago, he looked really, really positive for us, but just couldn't find the goal. And I'm really glad that it's come. And it was a brilliant finish, to be fair to him.
Amazing.
I mean, when he was at Gate, said, Rob Elliott said, I'd put him in the Premier League side. If he was managing a Premier League side, he said he'd bring Brown 10 to 15 minutes to go, no problem.
Wow.
You look at his goals at Gate, said he had to create the chances, and they were good individual goals. And yeah, hopefully it's the start of a good run for Brown in the team, or around the team.
Let's dissect that whole game then a little bit. Lots of people saying it's another desperate performance, perhaps. Again, we seem to drag our away kind of performances into our home performances at the moment. But a point against a good side like Hull is another one on the board, isn't it? Peyton, what's your view of the game? In fact, I'll let you and John have a discussion about it.
Well, to be honest, I thought personally that we weren't amazing, and the Hull definitely are a good side. And I think tactically, quite a strong game between 2 good managers who've done the right thing, stopped each other. But for a fan, not great. We scored a set piece. They scored a goal from outside the box. Both teams pretty solid defensively. Goalkeepers did their jobs. It's a game of football that happens. There'll be another one next week.
Okay. It's not going to last long in your memory, John, either, I'd imagine.
No. I mean, like Peyton says, it was a game of chess out there. There was a tactical battle going off with both teams. I understand why Derby set up in a low block because they were their possession wise, they look good. They like to load players top end of the pitch. They're not frightened to do that, and they pass the ball well. I think with them, it's just they remind me a lot of Middlesbrough and Norwich how they played at Pride Park, and Derby had to do that low block, and we did. By the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought we weren't very good. We weren't at it fully, and I thought two centre halves, Cashin and Nelson, were brilliant. In that particularly that first 10, 15 minutes. But no, I mean, you look at it when I thought at half time, he might have gone to a 5 at the back just to deal with their load a bit more and try and get us up high up the pitch because I thought we need a bit more load up top. Now, in his defence, I mean, they deserved to score that goal. We were too low. Their goal, we were too deep for that. And what players, when they went out to block him, were just walking. When they blocked him, we were too deep. However, credit to Paul Warne, he changed it, and we always talk about how important it is to have an impact off the bench. Chloe Brackett-Taylor is arguably the fastest player in the championship, and I think he's looking good at the moment. And I thought with Ben Osborne coming on and Tomo coming on, and then we scored, and then he went to a 5-3-2. Like Peyton says, it was two managers and two different types of styles and tactics going at each other. And yeah, 1-1. That's it. On to the next one. Don't think or talk about it too much.
Okay. We spoke to our Portsmouth fans earlier that said they'd happily swap positions with you at the moment because, when they were promoted alongside you, is all the talk of, well, they're gonna be absolutely fine, and it's you guys that are going to struggle along with Oxford. And actually, the flip has happened. Why do you think that is, Peyton? Why do you think that you have taken to life in this division, arguably better than Oxford have as well?
Well, I think it's because the recruitment has gone really under the radar. I mean, other than signing a left back, which it's turned out hasn't mattered anyway, because Callum Elder has turned into a great player. We signed everyone we needed to. We got a striker in. Maybe we could have got one more. Unfortunately, we didn't. We got in basically a whole new midfield that we needed because of Bird and Hurahan leaving. And then we got in, Zetterstrom, goalkeeper, incredible player. And they're all championship quality players, although maybe it didn't seem like it walking into it. Mm-hmm. All good signings. And they're all good players, and they're all good for the side. And we've got a manager who knows the championship. He hasn't got a great experience in the championship, but not with a budget. Didn't ever have a budget of us or the stature of us. He was with Rotherham, smaller team, smaller stadium, smaller fan base, smaller club, really.
I mean, when he left Rotherham, they're actually 6th in the league, and they were doing. They had a good start. And like you say, it's poor war. It's knowing your limits and what you can do as a side and what players you're going to bring in and getting a tune out of them. And we've made some. We look at it. There's been a 19 player turnover at the club in the summer, 12 players in and 7 players out, which is obviously we knew. I mean, Paul Warne come out in the Carlisle United game when we got promoted, saying we need we've got to rip this squad up and start again. So he knew what he needed to get where he needed to get. And I think this stage of the season, we're sitting mid-table. I look at, since the Sheffield United game, we've picked up 6 points. The only negative I'd say is I think we should have beat Oxford on Tuesday night. I think they were there for the taking. I think the 2 chances that we created, we could have done better. But hey-ho, what we on 15 points? Sitting mid-table, 0 goal difference, and we can get better. And there's enough for us to say we're going to stay in that league. So I'm surprised about Pompey, but I've seen some of their tweets and they're complaining about their recruitment. Yeah. Maybe they've not brought enough in.
Yeah. The question at the moment is one that Peyton kind of alluded to there a minute ago about experience of managing in this league. Mousinho has none. You know, he actually hasn't managed very many games himself and put a full stop, let alone at this level. And Portsmouth at the moment are debating whether he should go and bring in someone with a bit of experience or stick with him. And it's difficult, isn't it, when someone's been promoted with you to show that kind of loyalty. But Derby could care less. Paul Warren's doing a cracking job, and long may that continue. October Player of the Month comes up in a second, so get ready to put in the comments below who you think that should be. But let's talk about Stoke City, shall we first? John, two founder members of the Football League, I should say, played each other 129 times. This is the 130th meeting with Stoke. How do you see this going? Please don't say 1-1.
I want it to be 1-1. Obviously, I like us to win naturally. It's always a tough one going to Stoke. I'm going to say 1-1 Derby. I've got to say that until really.
Okay. Peyton, has he need to set up differently away from home to get the first 3 points?
I don't think so. I think Stoke have gone. Well, they've come up a bit because they obviously won against Portsmouth 6-1, and they've seemed really, really good. But in fact, they're actually not. I think they're below us in the table. They've got worse goal difference. They've conceded a bunch of goals. They're not actually doing all that well.
No.
And I think they're exactly where Stoke have been for the last, 3 or 4 years, mid-table.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably where they're going to stay. I think we need to be trying to get a win. I think you stick with a 4-3-3.
Okay.
Push for the win. Go on.
So the significance of this game, of course, is it's the reverse fixture of the last game of the season as well. So when Stoke come to visit Pride Park in May, do you think there's going to be anything riding on it, or do you hope it's going to be a party at Pride Park and celebrating finishing 17th, 16th?
I'd like to agree with you. I'd like to see that happen. I think I said at the start of the year, we'll be uncomfortably mid-table, because the championship's really tight, isn't it? I mean, look where Derby are. 4 points off the playoffs, 4 points off the bottom three, which is typical, which epitomises the championship, really, isn't it? So I'd like to think that both teams are safe, Stoke and Derby.
Yeah.
I'd like
Battle of mid-table then, Peyton, yeah?
I think so. I think by the end of the season, it's going to be 14th v 15th or something. Absolutely, it's going to be an absolutely boring last game of the season. Just a procession, kicking it round.
Okay.
Draw, horrible game.
All right, fair enough then. All right, enjoy your trip to Stoke, both of you. Before we let you go, let's have a chat about the October Player of the Month for you. Who should get it? There's a few contenders here. You've had a few cracking goals in October. But Peyton, who gets it for you?
I'm going to have to say Ebel Adams. I mean, he's been absolutely amazing. And it gets to the point now that if he pulls up his hamstring or anything, any kind of small minor injury, the whole stadium goes quiet. He went into a challenge a bit stupidly, came out of it limping. We all went Ebu, as we always do. I saw him limping. Everyone went silent. There was a gasp. It was hilarious, but he's a great player and he's stepped up into the championship incredibly.
Absolutely. John, you can have the same one if you want.
Ebu Adams is no contest. I think if he wasn't playing, would have dropped points. There'd have been a difference in the midfield. Ebu Adams.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have a shout out for Zetterstrom because he's my favourite Derby player. I think he's absolutely world class and potentially Premier League class as well. All right.
Trying to tout him for Everton, aren't you?
I am actually. Yeah.
Don't blame you.
£20 million, please.
Cheers, fellas. Thank you very much. Before we let you all go, we're asking everyone this week to name the 3 clubs they dislike the most in the Championship because it's Halloween and we love just being a little bit evil. So, John, if I could give you the power to relegate any 3 from this division, because you just don't like them, the fans who belongs in League One for you.
QPR, because I'm bitter about Bobby Zamora's goal. That's the only reason. Everyone's going to say Leeds, so And the third one, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else in that championship.
Okay, come back to you for that one, Peyton.
Middlesbrough.
All right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Peyton?
I'm going to go with Leeds, and I'm going to go, I think, QPR as well, and then probably go something a bit different, go Stoke, because no one likes Stoke. No one wants to go to Stoke.
The only team that's put you down in their 3 was Pompey earlier, actually. Said that, had some battles with you down there, so would like to see you kind of back down there, believe it or not. But yeah, I think Derby are quite inoffensive, aren't they? You don't you're not the sort of fan base that forces rivalries on other fans like some others are currently doing. Right, enjoy your trip to Stoke then. Thank you very much for watching. Do press the subscribe button if you haven't yet done so. We'd really, really appreciate it. And have a good week, everybody. We'll see you on the other side of the Stoke game. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Thank you.